Hello, guys and girls, and welcome to another show where I will be hosting with Michael from Wheels and Warriors. So, every Monday, there he is.
Hello.
Oh, I was saying a welcome to everyone who's watching. So we have our weekly show, Vocalize So You'll Rise, which we have every Monday, and this Monday we are an hour later. So, Kris, if you want to join, just let us know, and you're very welcome to share your story. I don't know. Did you read it by any chance, Michael? Because he left a comment.
The post there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So tonight we are going to talk about how to gain your strength after verbal and mental abuse. And because we usually deal with physical limitations, I added because of physical limitations, and of course that could be a number of things. But this has to do that because of something, the way you look, or the way you act, or the way you can actually go around, that you get bullied, and you can title. So, or at least with this topic. So, can you tell us a little bit more?
The two things that I got abused with mentally and psychologically. My first long-term relationship, I was with her for 5 years. She was mean. She would yell. She'd like to argue. And the more she would yell, the quieter I would get, and that would make her even madder. And one of the last arguments we ever had while we were together was she actually said to me, "You're not a man." And it wrecked me for years. Like, probably 3 years, probably did a number on me after that. So I was with her for 5 years, so that was hard. I mean, I always default to somebody not wanting to be with me, or someone like wondering if they can be friends with me just because I'm in a wheelchair, and it has nothing to do with the other person. That's just where I go mentally. But I think that's because of, in part, that relationship, and also the original story. When I was born, the doctor who examined me told my mother that I would probably never walk, talk, feed myself, dress myself, and I should probably be in an institution. And she told me that when I was 16, and it just made me mad. It was like, because I could see the tears in her eyes and what it did to her still. And this is 16 years old. And I'm thinking, it looked like it broke her a little, and that pissed me off. And it just made me more angry the more I thought about it. So it was a combination of those two occurrences that hurt the most, that I'm still trying to get over. But I'm getting
I
better.
can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So, I personally have had two very different experiences. One had to do with the way I look, because in the Netherlands, when I was growing up, everybody was blonde with blonde hair and blue eyes. Mm-hmm. And the other one was, I guess, more recent. So in the past decades, I'm not going to say there was a constant threat, but actually there was, because my then husband knew that I was prone to spraining things, all that stuff. And he always said to me that his biggest fear was me getting in a wheelchair or something along those lines. So when I at some point twisted my ankle and couldn't do anything at all, as in I couldn't walk, hi there, Joe, when I couldn't, cook anymore, couldn't clean, and I didn't get any support, it really felt like I was trapped in that house, this huge house, and it really didn't feel good. So we have two people on here, Kris and Jo, who also know a few things about mental abuse. I don't know if they want to come on. Again, if you want to come on, just send me a text and let me know. But you and I do have a statement for today, and it is, we believe that you can recover from mental abuse if you dare to share and if you dare to talk to others. And in addition, I will say that means talking when things are going bad, things are going good, things are going bad again, things are going good again, and take it one step at a time. So do you have anything to add to this?
I completely agree, because like when I was in it, I lied to my family. My friends told them everything was okay, which just made me worse. So I didn't have anything, and I didn't have an outlet or someone there or someone to help. So I felt even more alone. So talking to somebody, having accountability, I think.
Yeah, I assume that would have made a huge difference. And again, if people want to join, just let me know. Kris just joined, and you have a very different story of your own. And you shared a little something on Instagram, which you care to share.
Sure. Before I begin, just the brief stories I'm hearing from both of you, my story pales in comparison in any way, shape, or form. I dealt with.
You can never say that, Kris. I'm interrupting you for a sec.
Sure.
Each of us, sometimes they said you get what you can bear, but at some point you get used to certain things. I mean, you've heard only this little bit of my story. I've been lucky that, Michael was born with spina, how do you call it again? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so part of your back isn't fully developed, and as a result, because the bones do not close up and the nerve system isn't fully healed, it's not fully functioning. Yeah. And a lot of times, it leaves people, babies, and then of course kids, paralyzed from the waist down, and sometimes even worse.
I can walk with and use the chair just because it's easier.
Yes, but it's always like, is there pain involved? How much can you handle? How much can your muscles handle? Because the development compared to normal people, you do not have this development issue, is of course far different. I mean, you, Kris, you know what it's like to be a bodybuilder. And just for the record, because I have been dealing most of my life, as in from teenager on, and probably before that, from my ligaments not being strong enough, so I'm hypermobile, I had to develop my muscles. So when I was 14, I didn't even go to the gym anymore, as in at school. And then when I was about 21 years old, I discovered there was something like a gym where you could work out. So I actually worked out alongside bodybuilders. So when you are talking about the diet and all that stuff, I still use protein every day. And if I hadn't done so back then, I would have had a problem in the last couple of years. And I do have to say that because I had to walk on crutches for like 7 years. It really has been a setback for me. So I'm learning to walk again, all that stuff. It's like the third time in my life learning to walk.
Weights at the house. I love working out. I work out from Mondays to Saturdays, and Sundays I take off. I love working out. It really does help with depression and your attitude. I think.
Oh,
so,
yes.
What's your story, Kris?
So I would say my story really deals with more so ever since a kid, just always having weight issues. I was always overweight. Even as a little boy, my grandmother would say, you're not big, you're not fat, you're just big boned. Okay, well, a dinosaur is big boned too. So, but I really had a lot of weight issues. And then I did kind of the yo-yo thing. There were times in my 20s that I was heavy, got thin. Even I was in the Marine Corps 1995 to 99, and I even had weight problems then, which I'm surprised they didn't kick me out for them. But then around in my 30s, I got back down, and then in my 40s, the weight shot back up. And probably about 3 years ago, I just really took charge of everything because my father had his first stroke at 48, and I'll be 48 this year, and I just could not let myself keep going the way I was going. I was on 2 blood pressure pills. I was on cholesterol pills. And something clicked. Well, I met a bodybuilding promoter in Detroit. His name is Dave Bowers. And he was very supportive of me. And throughout the journey, I met a lot of other supportive people along the way. And I decided I was going to use bodybuilding. I always loved bodybuilders back in the day. Like I used to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger and some of these other guys, I was like, I want to do this because I've always really loved it. I remember as a kid in the garage, I had a weight set, and me and my friends would, we all did was bench press and do curls because, curls for the girls and bench press, whatever that was. And, I decided I was going to use that as a vehicle to get in shape and then start competing in the business as well, if you will. Not business, start competing in the sport. I went because I am 47, so my chances of becoming making $1,000 doing the sport left me 20 years ago. And I also wanted to do it for the health benefits. I went the natural route to where about the only supplements I take are what you can get at like your Walmart or whatever. Nothing. I was going to take performance enhancing drugs. Not that I have anything against the men and women who do that, because that's between them and God. But I made that promise to my wife and to God that I was going to do it naturally to enjoy the health benefits, and honestly, to build up my self-esteem. I don't have any pictures in the room here, but I think I was around 270 pounds in my heaviest, and then got down to like 159 for these competitions. I'm not there right now because I'm not competing right now, so I'm enjoying food. But just that was kind of the thing. Just always, every time at work, the guys would tell the fat jokes. You see myself in pictures, and I was always the biggest person in the picture. And it was a lot more self-esteem issues than anything else. And I know that sounds a little bit superficial, but that was where I was at with why I decided to make the changes I made.
Well, I don't know if that's superficial or not. I wouldn't say so, because we respond to what we hear. Just for a sec, I want to say hello to Jo. I invited Jo as well to come on here. And, what I love about your story, Kris, is you decided to make a change. And because you were overweight, you were the biggest one, you said you wanted to make a difference. Well, I've always been the bigger one compared to all other people too. The advantage of it is I am hardly ever cold, also due to the muscles. But I always say it's a combination of muscles and fat layer, or layer of fat. But I do have to say, after not having been able to work out, and I don't know, do you know Insanity, which we had back in the days? from Sean T.
Oh, yeah, I have the DVDs right around the corner.
Yeah, well, I had those too, and this is the thing, I cannot jump, I cannot run, but I could do those diamond jumps and all that stuff, so I was so proud. I couldn't do it, in that same speed that he was doing it, but I could actually do it, but I was so fed up with doing it every day, and I was like, oh no, another day again, because that program is like at least, it's between 30 and 60 minutes a day,
and
like 6 days or 7 days a week. Yeah, it is. So I always regretted thinking like, oh, I wish I hadn't said it, because then I couldn't anymore. I mean, I couldn't walk, I could hardly cycle, and all that stuff. And just one thing, you don't know this, but I actually became a medical fitness trainer just to get to understand how my body was working. And I gave Joe yesterday a little tour around the house, but what you didn't see is I actually have made drawings of bodybuilders, because I love seeing the muscles, and I used to have practice where I also would give people massages, and one of the reasons I did so was just because I felt it was so fascinating to feel the bones and the muscles and how all that stuff worked. So I'm just completely going off topic here. So let me introduce Joe for a sec. You are very brave to be on here today.
Thank you.
So people don't know this, but Jo is on the verge of losing her mom due to cancer. She hasn't slept in days because of it, but she does know about the results because of your late husband. She lost her husband due to COVID a couple of years ago. It's almost 2 years. I can't believe it. But he was in a wheelchair at some point, and I don't know what you want to share, but she can also share a little bit about how people reacted, and maybe there are some things from your own personal fault, but
my husband, he was really diabetic and asthmatic as well, and 2 years prior past COVID, he lost his will to walk no more. He ended up with ulcerated holes in his leg. He lost half of his heel, part of the heel part, due to ulcerated. It just literally ate him. And he ended up with some disease in the bone that it was actually eating away slowly in his feet and legs. He just ended up there, and it is hard when you're with someone within years, you've had the normal life, bang, they're in a wheelchair. It does literally change your life. Obviously, I had to help him because he couldn't move, he couldn't walk, and it's hard. And some people don't have the respect for people that are in wheelchairs and that, and I think there's a lot of people out there so ignorant. I mean, in the UK, so many of them are just so ignorant of and will be placed like snare and tickle because you're in a wheelchair or get out of the way, you're in the way, and we used to put up with a lot of that. And it is hard to go from being so fit, because he used to be a black Dan, he taught karate and all that, he'd done all that, he did everything like that, he was a teacher, and then to lose that ability from that to nothing, it was so hard on him, but he never showed people that it was affecting him, had that sort of, he was a man, he couldn't show that he was suffering, which a lot of men do hide, women more, and men tend to sort of, no, I'm not going to show my, and it was hard, and it was really hard, actually. COVID came along, and on Good Friday, Easter, he went in hospital and he passed away from COVID. He was 53.
Damn.
Yeah, it's way too young.
Really.
So getting back to Kris, to what you said before, this isn't so much that one has it worse than the other one. This is people reacting to what someone looks like and what they're doing. And that's why I loved when Michael came up talking about this, and it was like, yes, we can use this to say, okay, we can find the strength to actually rise above what people are saying, and make us believe, because that's the hardest thing that people do. They prey on your weakness, and when you don't have any support, so fortunately, Jo, Keith had you, and who helped you come out of this situation, Michael? Who helped you? It was your immediate surroundings, right?
Well, when I went through that relationship, get out of it, I basically took myself for a couple of years, and then to the Las Vegas downtown environment, writing a lot of like stories, going to a lot of it basically what helped immersing yourself in what I loved, like writing that whole vibe, the people around me, that helped a lot, and then listening to videos and just doing a lot of what I could do.
Okay, I'm not hearing it constantly, so I don't know if I'm the only one.
Yeah, it's breaking up, yeah.
Yeah, I had to say when you were talking, Jo, I don't know if it's my connection, but we're just going to try and continue on. But what I did get out of it is it's by talking to people that you do get the support and you can get out of it. And I believe that's, the talking about it is what makes all the difference. And that's what I love, about all of us here on this live, that each of us shows that we are doing something about it. We might show pictures, we might share our stories, but we let people see, like, okay, this is who we once were, and this is what we are doing in order to change it and to become stronger, so people can actually see, like, okay, we don't have to be stuck in a situation where we are bullied or made to believe that we're not good enough, whether it's because we are in a wheelchair, because we're overweight, or whatever reason it is, because maybe you can't walk anymore, and that's so important. And Mina said that she couldn't hear what Michael was saying, so
I don't know why. Sometimes it works and sometimes it breaks up. I don't know why.
Yeah, now we can hear you very well. Yeah.
Well, I got out of that relationship in 2010. For 2 years, I pretty much just cocooned very to myself, and then until to concerts and poetry, just things like that. Basically, I'm the writing, the arts and culture, being around people, them being my friend, and here, knowing how I am or who I am, helped a lot. Just being around that showed me a lot of where I needed to fix myself internally. It was basically just like...
So you was in an abusive relationship?
5 years I was in a relationship. He was verbally, psychologically, and he would yell, and I'm quiet, and he would yell, and then I would get quiet. He would get better at me being one of the last with me, and that took a couple of years out of me. That hurt a lot.
Yeah, I was in mine for 3.5 years, abusive relationship prior. I was 20 at the time, young, naive, thinking that the one, he was good for 6 months, happy, everything fine, and then I noticed these odd little bits where he just lose temper, and he was mentally abusing me at first, and it would always be my fault, and they make you believe it's you, but it's not. But obviously you think you're the one that's doing it, you think you love them, you want to, maybe it was my fault. And I got to the point where I was pregnant with our child, and I was nearly 8 months, and he literally kicked the bucket at me, and I had to give birth to my little boy, and he died in my arms. And I was all on there, and I had nobody around, because I was frightened to tell my family. Then I was in hospital 3 times, but the last time he fractured my eye socket. I had broken ribs, bruises, cigarette burn, and it was a policewoman that actually made me see sense and got me away from it all. Because if not, I probably wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be here talking now if it hadn't been for her. And
that's what we need.
Yeah,
we need people.
You need that sort of support. I know, because at the time I hid from my family. I didn't tell them anything. It was, and obviously I was suffering after losing my little boy. And I didn't get him done for it. I dropped charges. I wish I hadn't done that. But at the time, I was scared. I was only 20. I was young, and he threatened me if I'd say anything, he'd kill my family, or he'd threaten to kill me, and luckily I had a friend who came to me, and she literally dropped me from him. He went to work, my dad, they came back, not going, I don't care what you're doing, you're leaving now, and she got me away from him. If, as I said, if I hadn't had the support of that policewoman and my friend, I probably wouldn't be here now. But it has made me that more stronger now. I'll never part with that again, never. Not for
now. And that's why it's so important that all of us here are sharing our story, where we show okay, we have been bullied or worse at some point, but we don't have to believe what they are saying. We know that when we get proper support, and it starts by showing others the way it is. And of course, people couldn't get around when they were looking at your eye socket. But then again, we also know other people who have been abused, and it didn't end very well. So I want to just switch it for a second to Kris, because what I like about Kris's story, Michael will come back up in a second. We sometimes have problems with our connection. And I've been wondering this for a while. A lot of people take their health and their life for granted. Well, I guess all of us know that it isn't that normal. We've seen that health is not normal. So, Kris, before you got to the point where Jo's husband ended, you actually decided, okay, I need to change something. I'm on a lot of medication. This is affecting my health, and I need to change some things in order to become healthy again. And when I'm working with clients who have a lot of mental issues, sometimes because of being traumatized or being abused or whatever it is. And I see them, you know, drinking way too much, smoking way too much, and really not thinking about what it is they want to consume. And, you know, sometimes that really breaks my heart because I'm like, you could be so healthy and you could live a good life. You have had a body that's fully functioning, but you don't take care of the vehicle. So, Michael, I was, you were gone for a sec. So I don't know what you heard.
Yeah.
I went back for, oh, you could hear it. Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay. So, well, Jo, she shared the story with us, how she actually was abused and mistreated, and how she lost her baby boy because of it. And then I switched back to Kris for a second, because what all of us have in common is about, oh my God, can you hear it now? Because I saw the circle coming back again.
He's got the circle of doom going on.
Yeah.
Got really bad connection.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But now he can't hear me, so that's the thing. I'm repeating it for him. But so hopefully you do understand what I said at the beginning. Like, right. This is not about how bad one has it compared to the other one. We each have our own thing. But what we can do is tell other people, like, okay, reach out to people, share your story, and you can mentally get stronger if you take it one step at a time. So from going to medication to actually going on stage, I mean, that must have taken courage.
Well, I got to admit that I have I like being the center of attention. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know how my wife puts up with me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not like I put other people down to make myself look better, but I don't know what it is. I do like being the center of attention. So getting up on stage, even though I was basically just wearing trunks and a smile, that didn't really bother me too much. Now, I did compete one time in 2019, and I was not physically prepared to do it, so that was embarrassing. I was still overweight, and I did it anyway because I'd already spent the money, so I said, well, I might as well get up on stage. And I looked ridiculous for a bodybuilder, not necessarily in the real life, but for bodybuilding, I looked ridiculous. And then I said, okay, now it's really time to step it up. And like you said, you know, trying to get healthy. Not having physical limitations outside of what the weight was giving me, I really didn't have an excuse to take care of my body. I know you said something about alcohol, and yes, I have a little bit right here. I'm enjoying a nightcap before going to bed.
Nightcaps, no worries, no worries.
So I do have Irish ancestry, so whiskey is going to be the little thing. But anyway, I'm just joking. But so just getting healthy was, I thought I had an obligation to that, because a lot of people in my family have a lot of health problems. You know, they get diabetes, high blood pressure, and all of these different things. And I know that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So I knew if I was going to at least either delay these problems or just avoid them altogether, I was going to kick that apple away from the tree as far as possible. And so, being that I was in the military many moons ago, and I did boxing back when I was in my 30s, so I knew what I needed to do to get in shape. It was just a matter of do it. And like most men, we have to have our little Rocky Balboa moments where we have to have something to strive for. And just being healthy for health's sake wasn't enough, so that's why I said, okay, I'll start competing. And now I'm loving the benefits of the competition. Is great, but just the benefits of being healthier. And my wife and I have a much happier marriage, because she's also she's improved her health as well. And my boys, see a much happier father than when I was just constantly depressed. And I didn't even realize just how depressed I was just because of the fact that I was having such self-esteem issues until they weren't there anymore. And I hope I answered your question, because I think I kind of went around in circles there.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't realize what you have to do or not do when you're joining all those when you want to be on stage, because
Right.
in normal life you already have like a diet. So I remember, going to see clients, and I said, okay, I've got my food here, and I'm going to eat during the meeting, because I have to eat like 7 times a day, and if I don't, I get cranky. So
I got some stories on that. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, exactly. So there's of course the amount of food, depending on when you eat a lot, then you get muscular, then you have to be dry, so it all shows, and so that's the whole different. So when it comes to strength, mental strength, and sport, I don't believe this is something you can do on your own. I mean, usually you work out with other people, you train with one another, and I have to say, when I was working out, and it was not to be on stage, just to be, but I did like working out with other people who were, who were focused on getting a better result and doing it together. And for me, because a lot of things I couldn't do, it was so nice to be able to actually do this. This was something I was good at. So whenever people needed other people to carry something up the stairs, whether it was a washing machine or other stuff, I needed to be there to help them out, And so that was very funny for a long time. Of course, nowadays I have lost much of that ability, because walking with crutches, especially for 7 years, it takes its toll on the upper part of your body. So I'm slowly getting back in it to it, and 2 days a week I get realigned.
Okay.
But this was about, okay, how can we get the strength back from being put down, and then get to that next step. And maybe I should let Jo talk. So I'm pretty sure that Michael is frozen. And he may come off.
He's back.
Well, he's not moving.
Yeah, he is to me. I can see him moving.
Is he moving? Michael, can you say something?
Hello.
Okay. Well, Michael, you continue on. I can't see you talk, but I hear you are moving. So I don't dare to refresh this. Yesterday I got cut off. So what do you want to say in because of what I just said? What else do you have to say? What do you have to add?
Go on again.
I think you're talking about show.
Uh-oh.
Who do you lose?
Okay. I think we still
Nobody
lost
lose anybody. I think you're good, Mike.
I'm good, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so please talk, because I can see, I only see that one view of you. So unless you talk, I don't know that you're doing something.
Yeah.
Or the others have to tell me.
I think she's asking you, Jo.
Oh, are you asking me?
No, I was asking Michael first. Well, I was asking Jo because I didn't know you were around, but then I heard you were around. So now I'm asking you if you have anything to add to all of this, because we were talking about how to get out of being bullied, about having that mental setback, believing things which aren't true, and getting back to the stronger version.
He's disappeared again.
Yeah.
Can I kind of interject or kind of add my 2 cents on that while we're getting Michael back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so just from my short experience with what had went down, when you do have people that are bullying you, and you do have people that Don't think you can do it. Okay? Best advice I could give anybody. Prove them wrong.
I love that.
Prove them wrong. All right? Because there comes a point, first of all, people are going to make fun of you for trying to do it. Then they're going to get to a point where they can't believe that you're doing it. And then they're going to get to a point where they're going to ask you how you did it. Okay? Prove them the heck wrong. Trying to keep it PG-13. So prove them wrong. You got it in yourself. You get up every day and you say, this is the day the Lord has made, and I'm going to kick its butt, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong. That's the mentality I took to prove people wrong, because I had a lot of haters. And now I have those same people that were hating on me asking me to help them get to the point where they'd like to be. Well, okay, you got to prove them wrong. That's just from my perspective. I can't speak.
I love that advice.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to prove my doctors wrong too, and I had to go back time and time and time again until, I mean, there's a reason I used crutches for 7 years, and that had to do with no one believed me, and when they did believe me, they didn't want to do anything about it. And the funny thing is that what I learned is when people were actually assisting me, for instance, when I would be at the airport, so at some point, because I was on crutches, I couldn't use a suitcase. I got stuck at an airport using a suitcase. So I used 2 backpacks, and one of them was apparently a military backpack, and then I put one on top of it. So people would, pick it up, and they were like, "Well, that's heavy." And I was like, no, that's the way I go about. And that's how I went through the U.S. for 6 weeks. I went through a couple of states. That's when I actually met Evan Carmichael. But that's the way you prove people wrong. So, Michael, I can see you again.
Yeah. Hello. A lot of my life has been about proving people wrong. And
yes.
Because
from when you were born, basically.
Yeah. Since I was born, basically. Because the doctor didn't think I'd be doing anything that I'd done. He thought I'd be in an institution.
And you proved them wrong.
Thank goodness for my parents.
Yeah, and I guess that if people want to know, they just have to look at you. And I mean, here you are here live talking to us.
Strong willpower.
Yeah. So, Joe, what do you want to add to prove them wrong?
Basically, just as... Is it Michael? No, which one's the other guy? I forgot your name. Not Michael. Kris.
Yeah.
I agree 100% what Kris said. And basically, you just got to learn to trust yourself again, believe in yourself. That's one of the things you've got to learn. Believe in yourself and trust your instincts when you know something is wrong. Don't let them bully you down. Don't let them make you believe that you're wrong or you're the one that's, you've got to learn to accept the fact that you're not always wrong. Right? People throwing it, it's you, not. And if you're in any situation, just reach out to somebody. Just really try and reach out to anybody. Because there is people out there, especially nowadays, like here, with social media, you can get in contact with so many different people now, which is good, because there's more chance for these people to reach out, like you did with me, with you. So it's, and it helped me a lot in the last 5 months. I would never ever talk to anybody like this. Never did anything like this.
So what they don't know is when Evan Carmichael started with his challenges to get us talk live on Instagram. That's when I got to talk to Joe. We got on the chat and we were going back and forth about certain things. And I believe that at that moment it was about your daughter being scammed. No, you were talking to the scam artist, and then your daughter was being threatened. And at some point, you decided to go live and talk to me, and then the whole story came. And but you did say it helped you just to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely has. Yeah, helped me immensely, hell of a lot. Because a lot of the things, as I said, I never spoke about because, you know, it's learning to trust people as well. It takes me a lot to trust somebody, and obviously I found that trust in you eventually. I knew I could trust you because I don't normally, it takes me a hell of a lot to trust people now because of obviously what's happened in the past. And I do have trust issues with people, you know. I still find it hard to trust people. You know,
yeah, we will be talking on about that next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Jo and I, we do a show through StreamYard on YouTube and Facebook every Wednesday. And then will be part 2 about trust and how to regain that trust. So we have like about 4 or 5 minutes left. Then Michael needs to go. I haven't slept in ages. I don't know, well, I know, Jo, you haven't slept either. I don't know about you, Kris.
No.
But I want to do a final round and ask each of you if you've got something to add. And before I start doing the final round, I want to add something, which is one of the reasons I do these lives is to give people a voice. But this is not only about asking others to speak out. This is also about having us, when we see people who need to have that support, that we reach out to those people and say, hey, we are here. And we are here because we know what you're going through, or maybe we don't know, but we do know that you need to talk to someone and find some support. And I believe that's equally as important as hearing our stories. And maybe because each of us are sharing our stories, other people will listen and say, hey, hold on a sec, we can help others. So, in random order, who wants to start? Kris, do you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. My best advice I can give anybody is don't set limitations on yourself. Just go. Nike says it best, just do it. And I don't care what your particular passion is, okay? Mine happened to be, you know, the whole bodybuilding thing. Whatever your passion is, don't waste any more time. Time is way too finite. We don't get a refund on life if we didn't like what happened. So push forward and just kill it. That's all I can say. All 3 of you are proof positive that you can persevere. You guys have overcome challenges that I don't think I could handle. And so I applaud you. You guys inspire the heck out of me. So if you guys can do what you can do, anybody can do it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but having to change your lifestyle, you might have ended up totally different, because a lot of people who get bullied, they start eating more and more and more. You turn it around. So you get credit from me too. So
thank you.
Jo, what did you want to say?
Just to say similar, really. Just try to keep thinking positive. You put your mind to it, you can do it, because we know I've done it. I know there's people still worse off than me that's been through worse than what I've been through. But I know there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. If you put your mind to it, be positive, you will get through this. It can take time, but you must keep foreseeing the future. Like people say to me, oh, would you change your life if you had a chance to change it? No, I wouldn't, because I would never have met my late husband, and I wouldn't have my 3 beautiful children and my granddaughter. So no, I would not want to change my life. They're my life, and they're what keep me going. They're my strength, and if you've got children, build that on, because you need to show them life can be tough, but there is ways of getting through it. As I know with my daughter, my youngest, obviously you know that she's had problems because she was a daddy's girl and she loved her dad, and when he died, it was pieces. She was self-harming, everything. It's been a really difficult for her, but she's getting there and having support from me and her siblings, and it's nice to have that support there for each other. That's why I would never ever change my life because they're my life, and just try and keep positive and aim what you want in life and just go for it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But
Yeah. Yes, that's true. You have tried. So, Michael, you are the one who starts stuff. Do you have some final words?
The first thing you need to do if you're in that situation is, one, learn how to love yourself.
Yes.
Take steps every day to take care of yourself and look after you. Do something for yourself. Be honest with yourself. Important, because when I was going through those 5 years of being abused by her, I was lost with my family, and everything looked like it was hunky-dory and great. And then one day I was like, screw it, and I told everybody. I felt free. The first step to heal it. Then, like I said, surrender. You'll have people honest with yourself. My wife has helped me a lot as far as like learning things and taking care of myself. So yeah, just love yourself, take care of yourself, and it's not selfish to working for the better good of your life, I think.
I do believe we even have a responsibility to show others that we can make the most of our lives. And I don't have any children. I am a proud auntie, whether it's blood related or not, you know. But I do believe that we can leave a legacy to other people out there just by showing like we can do it. And if we can only change one life and just, you know, change the attitude of one person, it will have a ripple effect. And that's what I really believe. So we have to go and end this show. For anyone who wants to be on the live with Joe and me next Wednesday, we'll see you there. And for now, I want to say thank you so much. And
nice meeting you both.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
keep positive and prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Night.
Bye-bye.